Beginning and explain everything from the beginning. And to do that, I have this that I'm going to give to Garth so that I'm going to pass it around. This is one of the beginnings. This may go back 500 to 2,000. It's really the only artifact I found here. And it is a smooth game ball. So this week when they played that famous baseball game and said, let's play ball, hey, they've been playing ball for a long time. And so that you can touch that community that plays ball where they come out, I'm going to give Garth this and pass it around, let everyone put their hands on it. Go back that many years. So, I don't know how to get the history, but we came, there's some nice pictures Mary Lee Nielsen's put together. I came up here in 1992 with my class. I had some stakes. We put one stake in the center and then roped it around and put stakes around the perimeter, and that was the real park. I had no idea it would be like this. It just kept expanding. Once its expansion was the fact that so many people were ready to lend me a hand up here. It started in 1991, but when I was here 2 months, and one of the art people had a party, faculty party, and I met Dennis and Gail Peterson. And both the person that introduced me and Dennis and Gail Peterson were talking about medicine wheels before I even opened my mouth. So, it was their idea. Although I had done some reading, and I was interested to see that medicine wheels was going to be our part of our conversation. There's so many people that were involved here that all the Nielsen family was involved. I've seen some of my students, Cooper Wick, Jacobs, Matt Jacobs, Matt Nathan, Eric Bangaroo. Holy cow! Eric Bangaroo. We did the first draft up of the medicine wheel on the top of the science center with spray paint to indicate. Lucky you didn't step off the roof. Who else is up here? I was hoping Nick Ford would be here. I'd like to introduce you to my main worker coming around with the ball, is Garth Weber. He has 269 service hours up here, and he's going to beat Nick Ford eventually, who has 301. So, but everyone from the publicity to just about everyone has helped me out with this project, and I think some of my best friendships in Valley City are formed through partnerships with this community. Are there any questions? Anyone want to make a comment from their perspective on Medicine Wheel Park?
Joe, I just want to make sure everyone signs in before they leave and have a cookie.
Let's take a little tour of the park. I'd like to show you the most recent improvement in the park. It's not going to work like it should today, but come on down here.
Yeah. No sun shining. Nope.
Yeah.
What class were you in, Cooper?
Fall of 1994.
Early. Oh, yeah, you described what you did. Come on this side, and then we'll go out to the newsroom.
How long is this medicine wheel going to stand after you use? Or who's going to take care of it?
Don't look at me. I heard Matt said he's greater with astronomy. He said all the flowers are gone.
I will have to say maybe one of the best effects on it is good exercise for me. So I may last longer than you think.
We've been trying to kill him off.
This is the start right here. Want to get me up off the water?
Put a glass of lemonade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 270 now.
Yeah, that counts. The
Hey, girl. I'll get him a bottle of water.
Hurry up now.
This is a Meridian Calendar. Simplified, I call it a pole calendar, but it can be done in different ways. This has a gnomon. If it were sunny right now, we would see that in about 22 minutes, the shadow of this pole, which is right here, will move across here, very close to the summer solstice marker. And this was, of course, one of the two ways that the ancestors, our ancestors all over the world, connected the sky to connected the ground to the sky to make calendars. And of course, calendars were an important science. And this is more in our heritage. This picture right here shows the other way of doing this, besides having a gnomon, and that is. This is all over Europe, particularly in Italy, which we just visited last spring. They would cut a hole in the south side of the cathedral. A beam of light would come through, always not oriented in the correct way, and then they would dig up the floor of the cathedral and put in a calendar there. They wanted to find out when the first day of spring was, because as you all know, Easter is the first Sunday after the first full moon after the first day of spring. And they thought that would settle the argument between the Eastern and Western Catholic churches, but it didn't. And the scientists were there with their own purpose, to find out more about the calendar, how wide the sun was, everything like that. Thank you very much. Everything else. And we visited that, and if you'll come out here, and here's the new edition coming from Allard Trophy in Valley City, the signage for the planets in here. Come on out here and see. We now have signage on here to help for the interpretation. So this is where the cross is going to fall on the first day of summer. The cross of this, it's 18 feet out here. On the first day of winter, that shadow is going to lengthen to the way out there 100 feet. And that's the first day of winter. Then with all these calendars, spring and fall are in the center. Medicine Wheel Park, it's not about textbook learning. It's about actually feeling this. So, repeat after me. I feel connected to the universe. I feel connected to the universe. A little louder, huh? I feel connected to the universe. And of course, when we're up here, we want to feel all that, you know, it's rotating that way. And I guess probably pretty soon taking shelter, but I'm not going to let this stop me yet. So leave when you get really wet. Let's walk up to the wheel. Before you do, if you haven't been here since they put in the rings of Saturn, that's really off the Walk of the Planets, part of the North Country Trails, and Chuck Bowen made these rings. This is the second of the two kind of calendars. Instead of local apparent noon as the indicator, then this is this measures where the sun is on the horizon, so that you can have some regularity in your life, so know what's coming, whether it's going to get colder or warmer. So I'm up here on June 21st, sunset, and right here is where that sun is going to set. I'm up here on the first day of winter, and this is where the sun is going to set. If you bring the right spirit here, and the weather's been a little dry, and if you think really hard, then what we can have is a little rain then for the crops. So
I'm not going to do that yet.
Go, Jen.
So this is a little pray for a little more rain. We could use a little more
Later today.
later today.
Tonight sometime when I'm sleeping.
This calendar represents quite a few things. There's 28 spokes. So I'll remind you that almost every culture that tried to invent a calendar made a mistake. It was much easier to follow the cycle of the moon, new moon to new moon or full moon to full moon, and invent that calendar. But it didn't. That wasn't. You weren't able to predict the seasons with that because it didn't follow the annual cycle of the Earth around the sun. So they moved over, but we still stayed there with our little Easter date. It's not so long ago, you know, the Bible says Methuselah was 969 years old. Now, you can interpret that any way you want to, but a classical interpretation of that, maybe people were healthier back then. But the classical interpretation is that in Methuselah's time, they were still on the lunar calendar. So those are, you know, 969 moons. That would have made him 78 years old. Maybe a more reasonable age for Methuselah to be.
And we still have that remnant today because we call it a month, which is derived from the word moon. So that's how you come up with a month, is by the lunar cycle.
So how does that throw a wrench into the cycle when you have 2 full moons in the same month?
Exactly that,
Well, the moon was sort of, month is sort of an average. Down here, I was going to remind people, you know, everyone thinks that, you know, I've got my watch on 24 hours in a day. No, that's why this calendar will work for you before this will. The day can vary by plus or minus 17 minutes, depending on what time of day it is. That's why local apparent noon is at 1:32 today. You know, you factor in the zone time, then you have to factor in where you are, and then you have to factor in what's called the equation of time. So that's good that we've come to some agreement. I like to look at the pole calendar as really advent of the first globalization. In the 1880s, the railroads were being built everywhere, but everyone in the world in the 1880s was keeping local apparent time. When the sun was halfway up here, that was noon. And so, you know, if the train's leaving at noon, it's different. It's a different time than in Fargo and in Valley City and Dickinson. So the world all agreed, let's divide up into time zones and keep a time like that so the trains can run on time. I don't think it's going to rain. Oh, here's the piece. We all get our pictures taken from the air. Where is it? In there somewhere. Yeah. Who's going to go up there though? What's up, man? Might be a little bit. Please protect Greg Danny. Let's pose inside the wheel. Now let's make a little ring. I see about enough.
see what's going on. I want to be in a
One of these. Pose with the I feel connected and keep it up here.